Welcome to week 2. This week we are going to discuss the product lifecycle management. The learning objectives include understand the principle of the Abernathy-Urdahl model. Secondly, to apply into the 4 different stages in the technology life cycle. And lastly, to describe the process of creating or managing technology and innovation. The Abernathy-Urdahl model was created back in 1978 by Bill and Jim from Harvard Business School. They both contribute an important model to help us to understand the innovation. The S-curve model is divided in 3 phases, which is to predict the performance of a product over time. The fluid, transitional, and specific phase, which we are going to see in the latter slide. The 2 important factors about the model, even the disruptive change does tend to follow a pattern. We also need to think about our response in strategic terms when technology shifts. What the theory will also found is that it works for small companies. Radical innovation tend to generate the excitement and attract the attention. The important is to manage the transition from fluid to specific phase. Let's take us back earlier before the Abernathy-Urdahl model, which is the BAS model, was created or developed in 1963. The BAS model, again, was to predict how new products and technology are diffused among the market. It is a rationale of how current adopters and potential adopters of a new product interact. As you can see, there is 4 different phases the products is going through. The early stage or the ferment stage, when research and development was involved into a new technology. When the technology takes off and grows to when the product is actually adopted. And then the maturity stage, when the market gets saturated because the technology is widely used. The products get to a point where it's either discontinued or aging because of market saturation, or it could be because a new technology has disrupted that product. This is the best example of how the BAS model has applied into the music industry. As you can see, the transformation from the cassette tape to the cassette players to the CD. In this S-curve model, the 3 phases, the fluid, transitional, and specific phase. In the fluid phase, it is important to note that the information on the user needs, the technical input that was put in there. There's a lot of in custom design, flexibility was involved, a lot of resource that was put in there. During the transitional phase, when the products get variated, here's where the opportunity could either take off or could go down. And lastly, when the products get mass produced, it's forced the price to come down, or when the new technology get introduced, then the products ends at its life cycle. I thought this would be interesting to take a look at the case study of the GoPro company with their Hero 2 products, which is a video camera. when this HD Hero 2 products was introduced, the company actually applied this product in the S-curve model really nicely here. At the early stage, the company select the early adopters as a marketing tool. These are the three big players that are playing as a marketing agent for the company, like Red Bull, Billabong, and Monster. These are the early adopters actually help promoting the products as a communication channel to the customers. And when the products gets massively produced, the price is forced to come down and the products get to an end of its life cycle. At this point, it forced the company to either improve the technology of these existing products or the product has to phase out. I hope you pick up some new tips and thank you for listening.